RightonQuelive, and we are live. And I have a guest I was actually looking forward to speaking with for a while now. First and foremost, shout out to Key, fuck Key, the most popular person in Philly somehow. She told me a while ago to go to this, basically forwarded like this short film presentation screen or whatever. Went there, really never hearing about this girl. And yeah, I wasn't familiar with the work, whatever, the film work. Went there, saw two films that were really good, and more so than the films, though, I was really impressed, inspired, and motivated from the director, the filmmaker, herself, just speaking about her journey, her work, and everything she went through to get everything done, whatever. And I was like, wow, I really love speaking from the show. She was willing, and now we have her today. Introduce yourself, miss.
And here we are. Hello, everyone. My name is Tamara S. I am from Philly, 215. I currently live in New York City. I've been there for the past 5 years and change. And yeah, I'm a filmmaker. I am an actress, writer, just became a director, producer, and I also work in television currently at HBO.
Talk heavy, queen. All right. So before we get into like your actual, story, origin and stuff, whatever. Recently I've been talking about like this theory, not theory, but like a topic, and I thought you would probably relate to it. It'll fit with you. Passion versus perseverance. Are you familiar with this type of expression?
Passion versus perseverance. A little bit, but you can elaborate from your perspective.
So basically what the person was saying was that most people usually don't find both, but some people find one and not the other. Where your passion is like, oh yeah, I can see I love doing this. I'm fulfilled when I do this, regardless of where it may take me, but I'm fulfilled when I do it. But even when a lot of people, when they have that element, they don't have the other, so you don't have the hard work, drive, and perseverance to even get it done. So you have the passion, but you don't know how to execute and get this shit done, rolling, where it can end up being something substantial. The other half, some people have the perseverance, work hard, but never even truly find their passion. So then you're just working hard, going in circles, and never find fulfillment or happiness in doing that, whatever. And like I said, I was inspired by everything you said about yourself and what you've been doing. And I thought you were probably, maybe tell me different, but I thought you were a great example of someone who clearly works hard with the perseverance, but also have a true passion in what you're doing. Would you agree? And do you agree with that type of dynamic?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think what you said was spot on, especially, to hear the differences between the two. I think that it makes complete sense, and I think that that's the dichotomy that we have in this society. It's either you're persevering, and society makes it really hard to do both at the same time. But you really have to have a lot of courage to do both, and you can have a passion, and you can do your passion willfully. Sometimes it can just be something as simple as a hobby, but if you want to make some type of, I guess, any type of economic success in that, instead of passion, you have to add in the perseverance. And so I think for me, I just never saw it any other way. Like, I just felt like
you didn't even have to find it or like build it. It was kind of easy.
Well, right. So I mean, since I was a kid, I've been a performer. Like, I've always been into acting. I've always been into the arts. I used to rap. Like, I've done spoken word. I've done poetry. I've been writing since I was like 7. I mean, I was literally the star of the family. So for me, I think it was cultivated. Like, I was allowed to believe, and I think that to a lot of people's defense, some people don't have that community that that fosters that passion in them.
Some people literally have a situation where they cut it. Like, it's like they don't even try to water it. They just like, no, this shit is trash.
Yeah, like, hi, what are you doing? Yeah.
So I wouldn't embrace it at all. So,
but it's still no excuse. I think
True.
that if you believe in it enough, if you believe in yourself enough, then you just kind of have to take a leap of faith. And so it just goes to the whole, like, do you believe in it enough? Do you believe in yourself enough? But yeah, like, I think...
Talk about it.
But passion Hold on, guys. I'm taking a shot.
Of the white Henny. RightonQuelive first.
Ooh, Chalet.
But continue though.
But I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, passion and perseverance. The difference between passion and perseverance and someone just preserving and just pursuing passion is courage. Like, you have to really be bold to go out on a whim. Like, I didn't go out thinking like I would be working at HBO or BT or NBC or any of these companies I worked at. I didn't go to New York thinking that it would all happen. I knew I was going to make it happen regardless. So
wherever the path took you, it was going to get done.
Oh, I was driving that boat. So regardless if one door didn't open, I was knocking on the next door. And sometimes I would go back to the original door and I would say, oh, this person isn't here anymore. Here I am again. So you got to be persistent. And that's something I've learned, but also a lot of people told me that my persistence and being positive.
Okay. Another thing I've noticed, like, in the way you speak generally, and like even through some of your tweets, whatever, and social media, is
Twitter Tamara is different from person Tamara.
Spicy. No, but you're very much so embrace your womanhood and like the journey of being not just a filmmaker or a black person, but a black woman in this field, whatever. So like, just speak more about that and like navigating that and how you've some things you learned, to certain things you're still dealing with, and just how you carry that, how you embody that, and always make it. I feel it's a conscious thing to like definitely put forth like the womanhood and like how you carry yourself and what you present.
Yeah.
With your brand and your work and stuff like that.
Well,
and stuff you even say how you express it.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, I think we're in a place in this society where black women are finally, I don't want to say allowed, but we finally found our voice and like we're very unapologetic about it. And so it's kind of like, here's a space. I want to be in that space too. I've always been like that. So regardless of if that were the case, I think that I'm fortunate to be in this place and where we are right now with society. But here's the thing. When people see me, they see a black woman first. Well, some people I will say this, I still deal with the whole, what are you mixed with or where are you from? You can't be from Philly. You can't be from America. You East African. Where you mixed with Hispanic. You from South America. So like, people still are in denial about the fact that I can just be a black American from Philly, from the hood, who just happens to have African roots based on my lineage. But, so that's something I try to remind people and I try to emphasize a lot, because at the end of the day, my sister, like the black girl next to me, darker, lighter, like they're my sisters. I represent them. Not everyone has a voice. And so I'm very aware that I have that voice and I'm able to articulate things in a way that some people might not be able to. So if it means that some people might be uncomfortable around me, then I'm willing to make that sacrifice for my sisters, because when you see me, you're going to see them, because I know where I come from. I don't come from a super privileged background, and I know that there are people around me who are equally, if not more, talented, and there are people around me who they just either lack of resources or lack of motivation, or people just looking at them because they feel like, oh, you're at a disadvantage, so you're not going anywhere. I mean, I've had so many people tell me, even mentors, people really close to me, you're not going to get into Spelman, or don't apply to Penn State Maine because they only accept like the top 5%. I've had so many people tell me not to do something, and when people tell me not to do something, it actually fuels me to do it, to prove them wrong. And I will say a lot of my journey has been a rebellious act.
Interesting. Speaking of like the whole people telling I had a conversation with my dad not too long ago, and he was it's funny when like your parents say certain things to you and you're like, wow, like I would never thought that from your perspective about me, but it's constantly like this like hierarchy. Well, some people it's like a hierarchy, like I'm kind of looking up to you type thing, whatever. But he's like, hey, I'm really proud of you, how you are as a young man. Not saying what you've done, what you're doing, but just how you are, just generally as a man. I feel you're just mentally more advanced than I was at your same age, whatever. I feel like you never even thought of like things of you can't do. Like you always felt you could do whatever. I really thought, I was like, yeah, like that is true. Like, I've never had that situation with someone telling me I can't do something. Right. It could be from a place of privilege as a man, whatever. But just generally. But at the same time, I was thinking like, is that just me, or is it also my dynamic of people, my village, my community of people just constantly saying, oh, go, you good, you can do anything, you're great, shit like that. And I feel it goes a long way. But shout out to you regardless. Like, because earlier you did say in the day, whatever you come out, it's still generally no excuse if you want to get something done, whatever. Yeah. Regardless of where you come from, how you get it done.
Yeah, because there's so many, oh goodness, especially with the internet now, but like, there's so many ways that you can tap into that fearlessness, that potential, and I think that people, I will say, I feel like our generation in particular, we're very, very entrepreneurial, we're very talented, and we are generally more fearlessness. fearless. But I will say that I think that we lack discipline, and I think that
so much around us, and like,
a lot of distractions. It's something that I constantly battle. It's something, sometimes I find myself like, whoa, I've been on Instagram way too long today. Time to shut down. But I think that we just lack discipline, and regardless if you have your mom or your dad cheerleading you on, there's still so many ways. I mean, you can listen to. I know people that didn't have their parents at all. I mean, I'm actually one of those people. My grandma raised me. My parents are around. They're hard of hearing and deaf, so I know sign language, and like I never really had that genuine mother father. So I don't know what that is. I don't know how that feels. I've always had that void. But my grandmother raised me to hell with that, right? There's no excuse. So I had another strong black woman around me who didn't make excuses, and so she wasn't going to let me make excuses. So I think, you tap into that. You can find surround yourself with the right people, because even now, and I find myself still filtering out certain things and people, and sometimes that means family as well. But you cannot surround yourself with people who tell you that you can't, or tell you that you shouldn't, or who don't believe in themselves enough, because sometimes from the sidelines, they're, instead of rooting you on, they're toxic, you know what I mean, like a parasite that you don't realize. And
it can spread. Yeah,
exactly. And it's unfortunate, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do if you want to go anywhere.
And also back to the womanhood thing, I feel like it's like, not only do you embrace your woman, but I feel like you kind of also be trying to have your foot on niggas' necks. Like you try to like pull rank on men, and like, cause move out the fucking way. Like it's like, no, like, so is that like also like, is that like, I feel that's like a slightly different energy. Like you can have one energy like, no, I'm a woman, this is what it is, da 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 da. You're like, no, nigga, move. Like you feel that is you as well.
I don't think that me move. It's not a conscious thing. Like I don't look at it like you need to get out of my way, especially because you're a guy. Like move. Like I don't look at it like that. To be honest with you, I will say there are guys who willingly move out my way because half of them are intimidated by me in the first place.
Talk heavy, queen. Talk about it.
I mean, I would be honest. A part of me hates it, but I have to. I'm very transparent, and I'm very honest with myself, and so I feel like I owe that to people, to be honest. And
you also say another time you attract weak men.
Well, I will
Possibly,
say, I will say last year was a horrible year dating wise for me. 2017 and 2018 was my worst dating in history. I'm young. I'm still under 30, but still. But I don't know what it was, but I'm like, I don't know why I'm attracting these weak guys who, they portray certain things before they get to know me. They portray a certain character, and then they get to know me. True story. I dated a guy this year, like early spring, and it was so bad. Like, he's on my block list now, but it was so bad
shout out to the block list.
Shout out to the block. Thank you, Apple. But it got so bad that I would go to his house and he would tell me I can't use my computer. He's like, you
bring your computer and he said you can't work. He can't.
Yeah,
you can't
like I would bring
computer.
my laptop and he would be like, you need to be present. And I'm like,
you need to be present.
I'm like, but nigga, I need to send these emails too. Like, I could be both.
You have to we
can watch the Oscars and I can respond to an email. What's the problem?
Oh yeah, that's some weak nigga shit. But it'd be like, let's just say like, you were just watching like makeup tutorials or something like that. But you doing something that's literally important. Like, what the fuck? Like,
it's great, right? He used to, when you like someone, sometimes you don't see. I'm a pure Gemini. Shout out to Key again. Gemini gang.
Key, I had enough of you. You want to know what a parasite is?
No, fuck yeah. No, but like literally, I'm a pure Gemini through and through. So I don't know. Like, I'm the kind of person, if I try to see the good in everyone. Even if someone hurts me, I'm like, I'll forget the bad sometimes in the moment, and I'll be like, but this person made me feel this way, so I can find that again. But I'm not weak though. It gets to the point where I'll wake myself up, and I'm like, whoa, you chill out. Like, you're drawing. You need to step back. But yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, that was like the most extreme case that I've ever had in terms of weak men. In terms of weak men, I'm like, damn, I can't even work around you. And like, I just felt like he wasn't secure within himself. It had nothing to do with me. He was projecting onto me.
Oh, it usually is.
Yeah, like, at the time I was freshly producing films, and he was still trying to figure out what he wanted to do. So I think that had a lot to do with it. And it's funny, I got my tarot card reading yesterday. This is my second one I got, and it literally said, it was like anchored.
Weak nigga, stop.
It was literally like it had a cross, and I'm like, what does the cross mean? And the lady said Nirvana. She said you're at a place of you're basically at a very happy place. Like you're very happy with yourself right now in your life. You need to have someone that you're gonna build from that, not someone you have to meet halfway. And I'm like, whoa, this is scary. Like that's literally
not meet halfway. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you can meet halfway from that point, but I think you have to have someone at least mentally at a place that you are emotionally healthy, because you're going to find yourself being a parent to someone. And I ain't got no kids.
One time we had a topic on here, and it was saying that a guy posted something saying like, yeah, every woman should be motherly to their guy or whatever. And some people were saying like, no, that's right, because a man can be fatherly as well, protector, da 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 da. So yeah, those can be the energies. Mm-hmm. And people was like, nigga, I don't have no kids. Like,
right.
I thought it was interesting.
Right. I think it's interesting too. I mean, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think whatever works for that couple or that person. I don't think there's anything wrong with like exhibiting maternal behaviors and instincts, because I think as a woman, you do have those innate maternal instincts. As a man, if you are a full-grown man, you have those paternal instincts. And so I think it's important for both of us to see, is this somebody I would want to raise a child with? If, is he going to be that protector? But it all goes down to what the relationship, like what you want from it.
Mm-hmm. Let's go back to like your studies. So talk more about all your performing days, and so you started acting, then recently you started directing for the first time, all your studies into college, and into your work now, however you want to tackle that.
So yeah, I mean,
favorite actor?
Ooh, Rachel McAdams.
Oh, I like that answer.
Yeah, Rachel, and I also love Regina Hall.
That's one of like my favorite I just want to cheer for you, like, people. I just want her to win. Like, everything she do, I really like her career trajectory.
Amazing. Oh, her trajectory is amazing. Yeah. She's one of the actually most modest, most consistent working actors in the game. Right. Like, people don't know, like, she works, but she's not, like, in the spotlight all the time. Mm-hmm. But, I think she's starting to
respectable career, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Favorite Regina Hall movie? Favorite Rachel McAdams movie?
Rachel in The Notebook, hands down. Of course, Mean Girls as well, but definitely The Notebook. Regina, I will say, that's hard. You know what? I really like Regina in The Best Man, because it's a role so unlike the rest of the roles her career took. Like, she became... because she went into scary movie, the comedy, scary comedy, and then she went into like all of those best friend roles, or you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like she played the background a lot, but that she was sexy in that film, and
the sequel, the way they built on that character was cool too.
Yeah, so I would say that I respect her in that for sure. Okay. But anyway,
back to yourself.
Back to me. No. Also, one more person who is super, super amazing right now. I'm not gonna lie, I have a biasness against British actors because they're taking all of our jobs. But
sick of these niggas.
But this is one, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but Gugu. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. Like, her catalog is just phenomenal. She's one person I have been studying for sure.
Speaking of British actors, now some of my friends, this is a common thing. I have a beef with one of the leader of the team of the British actors.
Idris?
Yeah. Because all these women, like, Idris so fine. He got an accent. Anybody can learn an accent. Anybody get some gray hairs. Like women, don't let me get the Idris money, and we can really have the same conversation in the future. Like,
no, we did.
Like, no, we can't. We can't. No, we can't. But
no.
He aight. Like,
you tripping. All right. Listen, you can't be hating on your own show. It's not a good look.
Fuck the British niggas. Shout out for Snowfall though, and
I haven't watched Snowfall yet, but I heard it was amazing.
Yeah, he's next up. To me, he put the brick. He just had a Black Mirror role, and he got another movie coming that's like gonna be like one of those artsy award winners like
I saw
Farming,
it.
I think it's called.
What is it called?
Farming?
Is it the one where he's like the white face? Or Yeah, that looks a little creepy.
Yeah, but I think people gonna love it.
I was uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, why is he hugging this guy at the end? What are they trying to say?
Yeah, it was
to
like,
us?
they turned him into like a KKK type.
Yeah, like a. Anyway. So, you know, I mean, in terms of career, like, all right, so I took a very strategic approach to my career. When I was a kid, I, again, always was a performer. I went to charm school.
Are we going to take this shot?
I did take my shot.
Not the second one.
Oh,
she did.
I wasn't looking.
I said talk about it. Like,
wow. Welcome to the
Q
Q
like
show.
She didn't hear me when I clearly said it.
Welcome to the Q show. I'm trying to be serious. He's pouring me shots.
You poured it? What? I strategically poured it.
Anyway. I was very strategic about how I went about my career, but mostly because I come from a very disadvantaged background. So for me, I knew I wanted to be an actor. Like that's my passion. That's my, if anyone, people approach me all the time, especially now with stuff, and I'm like, does it involve a role? Because that's what I want to do. But, you know, I knew I wanted to be a performer, so I will say anything that I've ever done, well, before I wanted to be an actress, I wanted to be a rapper, believe it or not.
What was the name?
So my rap name when I was a kid was Lil T.
Okay.
My rap name when I became a teenager up until now is Trig.
I'm rolling.
It was Trigger, but Trey Songz stole my rap name, so I had to shorten it to Trig.
Shout out to that low-key classic.
And now because I'm a nerd, people be like, "Oh, what's that short for trigonometry?" And I'm like, no. So I don't even look no types of hard. Like that's what you're trying to say. No.
Trigonometry too. I see where we're going.
But I wanted to be a rapper. You know, my uncle's from Philly. He passed away. Actually, he a night at the table. You saw his picture at the end. He inspired me because he used to rap, and I was like, I want him in my music video. I actually have home videos of me rapping, making songs. My grandma bought me a karaoke, like a boom box, and I would write. I had a notebook and I would write songs, and I thought that I would be a rapper. And then I became 11 and I was like, I want to be an actress. So when I told my grandma I wanted to be I love my grandma to death. She is the reason why I am so bold with all of this stuff, because anything I've ever gone to her, she was like, you know what, if you feel like you want to do it, let's do it. Let's figure out how to do it. And so when I told her I wanted to be an actress, we scouted. You know, we went one time. I got fake discovered at a mall, and like I had like a temporary agent, but they wanted me to like not really go to school, and I was just like, yeah, that's not. Like, do you guys know where I come from? Like, I can't not go to school. Like, I gotta pay I gotta buy my grandma my house. Like, are you gonna give me that kind of check? But anyway, so you know, it was very like just on a whim when I was a teenager. I will say, growing up in Philly is very difficult because you're a lot of bad influences sometimes, and you get sidetracked. But at the end of the day, any of my friends that know me, anyone who's ever known me, they'll tell you like, oh yeah, she wrote a rap for me at one point. Like I was the writer in middle school writing raps for people. I was the ghostwriter. Okay. Yeah, like I didn't even know ghostwriting was a thing until like recently. But I'm like, yeah, that was me. I used to do that.
People make fun of me because you know we from Philly, especially I'm a man. Every nigga wrote a rap before. I'm like, nah.
They always say that. Like,
I never wrote a rap in my life, and even though I'm like super
that
into
is a
music,
stigma about Philly.
Yeah, I'd be like, you know, niggas lucky I can't rap because I really would have made it by now.
Right, like I would have, right? You don't even know.
Like y'all lucky. You
got the rap persona down pat.
I would have,
he got the arrogance down pat.
If I was me, I would have ended Drake.
Let me write for you. Listen, we could be a team.
Conversation.
But anyway, so yeah, it went from rapping to me like, okay, I need to figure out what I want to do for my career because I want to get into college. And I knew I didn't want to major in theater. It's funny because I befriended the theater community at Penn State. So a lot of people thought that I was a theater major, but I was like, no, I'm not an acting or theater or anything like that. But I was the president of a theater organization. So literally everyone was like, yeah, she's in the theater school. And I'm like, no, I'm in communications. So again, I went about it very strategically. I wanted to be able to have a major that was kind of cultivating to the arts, but also I could get a job. I could market myself and like actually, transfer my skills. And you can transfer skills from any major, but it's perception is everything. Mm-hmm. And even at that young age, I knew that. So like I was like, okay, I'm gonna go into communications. First I was in PR, PR was so boring to me, and so it was like, I'm going to go into broadcast journalism, and that was where I found my home. And I, that's where I learned how to edit, and I learned how to do, like, in terms of directing from a technical point of view. So yeah, I mean, I will be honest, I got away from acting a little bit, not intentionally, but it was more like, let me figure out behind the ropes. I mean, Kiara will tell you, like, when her and I first met, I directed her, and that was the first time I directed theater. I was directing theater stuff at Penn State, and I loved it. I was like, because everyone, like, someone got mad at me because I wouldn't take on this big role in this theater show, and I was like, I'm directing like 12 monologues right now. I don't have time for this. And then normally I wouldn't do that because I love acting. But the point is, I found a love for it in general. I wanted to be able to just create something dope. And I wrote a lot of the stuff that I produced. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, it went from me, again, like, just this big dream and like me thinking I'm going to be a rapper to me wanting to pursue acting, to college, being strategic about it, being in journalism, running a theater organization. To me, I was in an Alpha Phi pageant. I won Miss Talent, won Miss School. I wrote a self-written 5-minute monologue in tribute to Trayvon Martin at that time. That was when that tragedy happened. I wrote a monologue in like 2 days, and I won Miss Talent. I was like, whoa. So it was like, and like in my speech, I was like, I'm going to move to New York. I'm going to study at an acting conservatory. But I didn't really know that was true. I was like just talking out my ass, to be honest with you.
Shout out to talking out your ass sometimes.
But I was manifesting out my ass. So it was manifesting without me knowing. I knew I would eventually go to I didn't know if it would be New York or LA first. And I got this internship at BET. I missed out on every blue and white weekend because I was literally having information that was in New York City. So I didn't really have like the consensual college experience, to be completely honest with you, because I was focused on the next step. So yeah, I was traveling to New York a lot, and then I got my internship at BET post-graduation. I was like, it was either a job at Comcast, because I was interning at Comcast here in Philly. It was either a job at Comcast or an internship in New York City at BET. And I was like, I'm going to go to BET because I want to be I want to be in creative. Like, I don't want to be in business. So that's what happened. I mean, I went and I was like, I need to get a job and establish myself, get my feet on the ground. I was unemployed for a few months. I was waitressing, and then I got a gig at NBC. From NBC, I went to HBO, and HBO was my first full-time job. And once I got to HBO, I created the plan. I said the first year, just focus on HBO. The second year, you focus on yourself. And that's what I did. The first year, I was like doing everything at HBO, red carpet shoots and all types of stuff. And then I enrolled in acting school, and the rest is history. And that's what led to me here. So everything was strategic, and I was very patient about my journey. I wasn't like looking at people next to me like, oh, I should be acting now, or I should be in this and this and that. There are times where I do feel like I should be there, but there are also times where I feel like there's always going to be a place for me because there is no one else that can fill that place. So
being aware and comfortable in like your journey and your shoes, I suppose.
Oh yeah, because I mean everyone pace is different, and I just feel like I can't compare myself because this person is not me, right? Their story is always going to have a different journey, a different ending. So yeah, I mean again, even now, like I have, like right now, I'm back refiguring and getting myself recalibrated with my acting career, and I'm about to secure an agent, and that's where I'm at with it. There are people who think that I already have these things, but I don't, and I'm in a process.
Yeah, it's
He's trying to get me drunk, guys.
Hey, I asked her a few times before. I was like, yo, you ready to drink? Like, whole bottle? Zach want to be on camera so bad, boy. I just want to be on there.
I just gotta slip in every now and then.
I want the credit so bad. But it's funny you say all that because I graduated and I broadcast journalism as well.
Oh, nice.
But I often think about how I could have did college differently. Because like my general plan was, all right, so because I wanted to, well, I'm still going to be in filmmaking or screenwriting, more so screenwriting or whatever. I can't act. That's not. But so I've written a few scripts or whatever. But that didn't really. I've always been into film, always loved film. But again, my initial plan was to get into broadcasting somehow, whatever, network that way, and then branch out that way into doing more of the creative side of things, instead of like business and management, or whatever.
Right.
But midway through, I was like, nah, like that's not for me. I can't, like it's not. Granted, but in hindsight, I feel like I could have just approached it differently. I was just thinking about, like, for instance, I guess I was looking like if I end up at like somewhere like Channel 6 or Comcast. I'm like, I just can't do that versus I never even looked at the possibility of being somewhere like NBC, BET, HBO. I said, no, I'm just over this whole broadcast shit, but I just can't do it. I gotta be on the creative side altogether. Like, so my junior year is when I really started just writing scripts and really tapping in more to like the cinema side instead of like the broadcast side, whatever. But in the end of the day, I also knew I wasn't about to switch major, just start over. I'm like, Mom's paid for 4 years, so.
And there are a lot of transferable skills with that too, though.
Of course. But then getting out of it, so even with the podcast, some people know that this was supposed to be like a more so film-based podcast,
really?
not more so general and music and battle the sex and shit like that, whatever. But I was, I'm gonna do film shit, me film people and do this and whatever. And we still do that time to time. You know, we've had plenty of film conversations, whatever. But anyway, my whole point is, I think about how I could have made more out of college or whatever, and just approaching it in a more strategic way, whatever. And I hear that a lot from like, you know, key parasite, but like Penn State people, like, or even just like really using your assets. Like you said, you was a part of the theater community, whatever. Like, even though I knew a lot of similar people, like my best friend, he was an actor, and like I said, he goes to Columbia now and directing school, whatever. Well, again, his grad school and directing, but I didn't use it to the full capabilities that I could ever. So, you know, I appreciate hearing someone saying, like, strategic plan. I did everything I had to do. Missed out on the infamous blue and white weekend.
I know.
And all that stuff. I got the
part of me
internship
still regrets
right
it, but my friends gathered me. Like, shout out to Delilah D. I remember one time I missed blue and white because I was going to New York and then literally met, like, one of my biggest mentors right now. And she was like, how dare you take this opportunity for granted by being upset about some goddamn blue and white. She's like, blue and white is always going to be here. Delilah always gathering me. So you need friends like that around you that's going to tell you about yourself.
Let's talk more about the short films. You know, I went to the screening. Both of them good. I personally, let me think. Yeah, I like the, I think I like the, which one did you direct?
The Thriller. The Night at the Table.
I think I like the directing of the Thriller more, but I like the story of the rom-com more than Appetizer. Definitely the ending. And I go like, I can see this. I can see this going on more and more. Like
for Appetizer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I appreciate it both. Talk more about it.
Oh boy, what are you? I'm sorry. I've been talking about these films for the past week.
I got you. Don't worry. I got you, Queen.
Yeah, help me.
3 films. She tried to do 3 films in 3 months. It was crazy. She tried back and forth from New York to Philly. This and that. She directed one of them, wrote and acted in both of them. Da, 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 da.
Wow, you remember that? He's so good, guys.
The guy there, he almost didn't make it, but the chemistry was boom.
Wow, you remember? Yo, you literally. Wow, he remembers more about this Philly screening Q&A than I do.
She had to do some reshoots. That cost like a couple grand itself, whatever.
It really
did. The Thriller, she had to do like 3 different houses. Nobody knows. And this and that. And then, boom, here we are. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. And that's literally like 15% of the story. But yeah, like, I mean.
Damn, 15? I can't get a half?
Okay, 25. Quarter.
I take a quarter.
Nice little quarter.
Yeah,
so there's a Thriller, Night at the Table. I wrote, directed, acted, and produced that one. Insane. I do not recommend doing all of those things to anyone. But I learned a lot. And I became this person. I earned a lot of respect in the filmmaking community. And I was very humbled.
Did you strategically plan those type of results or outcomes?
No. So I will say this for both of my films. Let me just give a quick synopsis really quick. So Night at the Table is a film about a mother who is grieving the loss of a child, and this particular evening a dinner takes place. A seemingly normal family night dinner takes place. Seemingly. Ooh. A seemingly normal family dinner takes place, and we quickly learn that basically each person at that dinner table has their own kind of motives, and we don't know who's out to get who. And this story, it's a short film, so you don't really get to see everything at one time, but it's kind of like a small smidge bit of a full story that I have in my head. And so it was inspired by...
Is the full story written as well?
No, but
okay.
the outline is. Gotcha. But I do want to write the feature-length film. But for my short film, that wasn't my intention going in, though. I wasn't like, this got to be a feature film. It was always supposed to be a short film at first. But the more I developed it, the more I was like, wow, this is a really deep and layered film. Like, there's no way I can get this out in 10 minutes But I wanted to, and that's what a lot of short films are, though, like a really small sample. I mean, there are so many other thriller. I will say this: thriller, horror, and suspense films are the hardest genre of films to tell in short film, because
you gotta build it.
Exactly. You only have so much time to actually build up that suspense and have that exposition play out a certain way. And so you kind of really have to be both strategic, and also you have to be willing to make a sacrifice. It's like, what's more important to you? Like you said, is it the directing? Is it the story? Is it, you know, the plot twist? Like, what's most important? Because I know I'm not going to be able to really get everything out that I want to in 10 minutes or 15, however short or long. So anyway, it's about a mother who she's grieving loss of a child. They come together for a dinner. There's someone who has an ulterior motive, and we find out that there's someone who doesn't belong at that table. And then for Appetizers, a short romantic comedy. It's you know, a lot of people found it very relatable because, I mean, it's a rom-com. It's rooted in reality. It's about dating, and it's very millennial based. You know, I have this girl who's getting over a relationship, and she's going on a date with a guy she communicated with via a dating app, and so it's the first time meeting him in person.
You ever been on a dating app?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. That's very common in New York because it's very hard to meet people in New York. So a lot of us are on dating apps. A lot of my coworkers are on dating apps. Sometimes they'll tell me, like, oh, you should download this dating app or blah, blah, blah. So it's like a culture thing in New York. Before I was very hesitant, like, well, I don't need no dating app. I was real arrogant. And I was like, whoa, I'm lonely.
2017, 18.
I'm like, I'm getting old. I got a gray hair. Yeah, so, yeah, you know, Appetizer, it's cute. It's funny. It's very artsy. I had a different director, Idina. I flew her from Canada to direct this film. And it you know, it had a really they both of my films had a very great response, but again, people lean towards either film for various reasons. But Appetizer is easier to relate to because it's rooted in reality, like I said, and
that's definitely more easy to digest as well.
Oh, absolutely, and it has that open ended. They both have, to be honest. All right, so I'm not gonna give away a Night Table. A Night Table also has an open ended plot twist, but Appetizer in particular is like one of those things where you think that it's gonna go well, and then everything goes downhill really quickly.
And I feel like the Night Table, when it ends, is like oh, okay. But I feel the Appetizer, I want to see more. Like, where does this go? Type thing.
But see, that's your perspective, because I've had people watch Night at the Table and they'll say, okay, whoa, what happens next? It's going to be other people that this person is about to go get, because I'm trying not to spoil the story. Okay. But, like, you know what I mean? So it depends who's watching it.
I have a little familiarity experience with short films, knowing friends, stuff like that, who've done them. And as I've learned more about them and see more about them, it's a very interesting thing, because typically, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like, you know, you invest in so much time and money in these, you know, these projects or whatever, just for like the festival run, and like most people never see them because of the festival run and emphasis you have to have. And then a lot of times they can, but like they can amount to like plateaus and moving on and new opportunities, but like they don't really doing it. It's like, you know, you drop a movie and it's great. It's like, oh, so everybody sees this and that. But the short films, like, it's like a very seemingly short shelf life, whatever. You know, it's like you don't get much back from it. Yeah. Versus as another opportunity to do more. It's like, oh, I've seen what you can do here. Let's do some more shit. Let's move on from this and this and that. Whatever.
Well, a lot of that is true. Like short films, there isn't really a market for it like there are for feature films. But for short films, it is one of those introductions to you as an artist, as a creative, as a filmmaker, and it's kind of one of the ways to get your foot in the door. It's kind of one of those ways of like, hey, look, I can write, or hey, look, I can direct. Here's a sample of my work. Now give me the money to turn it into a feature. So it's one of those things. It's like one of those things that you just use as a way to package and pitch yourself to do something more. I do actually know people personally who have gotten opportunities from short films. I know someone, Kim Yandu, oh my God, her film like blew up in festivals last year, and she was a part of a writer's room last year. And this is someone I didn't know personally at the time, but I went to the NBC Universal Short Fest, and I was obsessed with her because she wrote, directed, and acted in her film. She was the one who emboldened me to do those things for A Night at the Table. And I was like, you're amazing. Can we have lunch the next time out in LA? And she was like, yeah, of course. And, you know, she's from Africa. And she met with me, and she was like, girl. So she like gave me the scoop and everything, and she told me about her journey. But like, the point is, networking is huge. it doesn't matter if you're a filmmaker, if you're on the business side of things. Like, at the end of the day, you still kind of got to put yourself out there. You got to have to find a way to market yourself. I had a PR person when I was raising money for my films. I hired a PR, Jordan Kathleen. Shout out to Jordan. She was my PR person for about 3.5 months, and all the press I had, I got with the help of her. So that's one of the ways to get out there. I've had people reach out to me for opportunities. I've had people reach out to me to distribution, but it is hard to get distribution when you are when it's a short narrative. But that doesn't mean don't ever create a short story, because if you don't have anything to showcase yourself, then that's one of the ways that you do it. I will say, moving forward, I think my eyes are now on feature-length projects and web series, because there is money in web series.
Right.
And for feature-length projects, again, there's that market for it. So, but now I've established myself. Without those short films, I don't think that people would have believed in me. Oh, I know they wouldn't have, because I was in those audition rooms before I was a producer. I was just an actor, and people were like, "Well, why should I give you this role again?"
Okay. I also have another theory. I feel that, people who really are into film, they typically lean towards one of the three dynamics or aspects of a film or a show, whatever: acting, directing, the writing. Me personally, I care about the writing more than anything. If the story's good, all right, that's my hierarchy. Probably like writing, acting, then directing. How about you? Which aspect, dynamic do you feel you love, appreciate, pay attention to more? If that's off, you're completely taken out of it, possibly.
Oh, I like that question. Well,
Thank you.
But that's easy for me, because acting first and foremost, then writing, then directing. But I will say this: I always tell people I was born an actress, but I was bred a writer, and I say that because I was a very resistant writer. I didn't like writing for a very long time. It was just one of those things that I knew how to do, and I just felt like it was so tedious and taxing, and it was very lonely. Like, writing can be a very lonely profession, and I just felt like people don't understand. And then I got so much good feedback in school from high school, from elementary school to college. I mean, I still have feedback from people about my writing alone, and so I was like, I can use this to my advantage. So I decided to get more invested in my writing. When I was studying acting, I also studied screenwriting. I took screenwriting classes for 1.5 years, TV writing and feature-length film writing. And from that point, it was just me taking the writing talent and skills I already had and pairing it with these new techniques that I've learned for the screen specifically, and making it my own voice and making it my own me. So when a lot of people identify with me as a writer from Penn State, because they know me for my spoken word and they know me for my monologue shows that I wrote. But anyone who truly knows me knows that acting and writing goes hand in hand for me. Like, I'm not going to do one without the other, but I have found that there's a lane for all of these things, and there is I can benefit from all of these three things. So I'm very blessed, and I've gotten opportunities from these films in all of these different. Someone hit me up recently to direct something. I just wrote, I'm writing for a horror web series now that literally is already funded. They already have the production. And so I, put my bid in. I was like, yeah, I kind of want to roll in this too. But, I wrote the series finale and she loved it. And so, I'm really blessed to have these skills, because I can, use them.
Bounce around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my friend had a conversation, when Insecure first came out. I liked Insecure, clearly, good writing, good acting. He said, the directing's trash, though. They don't do anything with cameras, shit's basic. And I was like, I just can't give it full credit. I'm
some episodes, though, there are, you can tell they have different directors, because there are some episodes that are so different from a directorial point of view. The first time I saw anything fun with directing was when they did the point of view. I don't know if you remember when Issa Rae was stalking the guy that she was dating.
The light-skinned guy? Was that one?
What the hell? It's been so long since I watched it. A whole year, right?
Yeah.
But with the episode where she told Molly, "Oh, can you hit up your friend, the Asian guy?" And
they were trying to go to his house?
Yeah, they went to the house and Issa went in his drawers. She was acting crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw, the camera went from her POV to third person point of view. It kept changing. That's the first time I saw, them explore from that point of view. So, but I agree. It's very standard, but it's also TV. But Euphoria is amazing.
Euphoria is one of the best directing I've ever seen on TV.
One of the best directing cinematography I've ever seen on TV.
Some of the laziest writing, though.
Yeah, I agree. See, we're on the same page. page. Because I agree. I'm like, this story. I'm like, why does that? They literally narrate like 50% of the story. It
If
drives
the
me
writing was
insane.
better, it would be like.
Oh, phenomenal.
And acting's
The
good, of
acting
course.
is amazing.
So the
Shout out
hierarchy.
to Cat,
like,
that bitch.
Oh, so how we doing this question? You know, being a person who's worked on several projects and bounced around doing different aspects of them. My friend, he asked me. He told me about a situation where he's working on a short film, and of course, he has one of the people on staff, whatever, do something. And he's paying them, whatever the bare minimum he could pay them, whatever that they agreed to. And then, not too long before it was time for production, the person frauded and said, "Yeah, sorry, can't do it." But some type of actual like crazy opportunity came aboard. He's like, "Yeah, but sorry, I can't do it anymore for you. But here's another reference. He's just as good as me. Whatever." And of course, he was pissed off.
What was the person's position? Whose film was it? Was it your friend's film?
Yep,
Oh,
I believe he was. Sam?
Oh, and he bailed out.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, that happens sometimes.
I thought it was an interesting situation because, of course, it's like if you are a rapper and someone said, "Yeah, you'll be one of the openers on my show, or whatever." But Drake calls you and say, "Yeah, you can open on my show." It's like, yeah, I'm gonna be a fraud. I'm gonna be a fraud. But it's Drake, like this is So of course I'm not saying that's Spike Lee called him or some shit like that, whatever. But so what do you think about that from your perspective? That happened to you? Has it happened? And just knowing that because a film, so many different moving parts, especially when you're directing, you're the head of the ship, whatever.
Oh.
So many different people you gotta keep track of, and know what they're doing.
Well,
So
producing and directing together as a team,
especially producing, right?
especially when you add acting. Oh, producing, I hate it with a passion.
Do you say you never do it again, right?
Yeah, but I don't have a choice apparently. In the middle of all this, I founded my own production company, and now I have a responsibility to
talk about it.
to the people. But whatever. It's oh my God, come on. I will say this: I'm not surprised. You're gonna have people bail out on you.
And then of course the reference that he got, he couldn't make it either. So I ain't gonna ask.
well, dang, that's kind of shady at that point.
Right.
It's just like, why are these people even entertaining you to begin
Yeah,
with?
they ended up meeting. He said, "Yeah, I wanted to meet because I agreed to meet, but I got like a Drake opportunity type status as well."
No, that's not okay. That's
Exactly.
not okay. Well, lesson learned for him. He knows not to ever contact them again for anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of one of those things where you gotta find your tribe. And that's why I like New York City, because it's a city full of tribes of creatives, and we're all out. We're all trying to eat, and we're all trying to make art. And we know how important it is to have reliable people around you, so you kind of wean those people out. I've definitely had people bail out. I've had my producer, my co-producer, she got demoted to associate producer, but at the time she was my co-producer, and she literally quit on production after the first day of production, after the first day of producing The Night at the Table. And I was just like, I couldn't give up. I couldn't cry about it. I had to keep it moving. And thank God I had an amazing assistant director who saved my life so many times on that production, because she went to film school. She's a DP, director, writer. She does everything except acting. And she was like, cry about it later. We're going to get this done now. Like, we're going to get this done now. But, like, people are going, my actor, one of my lead actors, I'm not going to say who, but one of my lead actors tried to quit on me 3 days before production.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God, again, I had an amazing assistant director. I had an amazing casting director who had a backup. As a filmmaker, as a director, your job is not to sulk. Your job is to problem solve. And filmmaking is all about problem solving. And it's really about knowing how to deal with pressure and knowing how to thrive under that pressure. And thank God I actually, outside of all of that, I've always done well under pressure. So I came out swinging. I was like, this is going to be lit. I wrote a great story. Two great stories. We gonna get this done. So yeah, you just gotta find your tribe. It's gonna happen. I'm not surprised at that. You can't take it personal. You just kind of, one of those things, like, you write it off. Like, okay, I remember. I won't work with you again. That's all.
I forgot the other situation.
Take a shot, easy.
Hey, don't take me with a good time. Situation. Hold on. Let's go.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
Oh, how about this? I feel like, I don't know if you spoke on this or whatever. It's on my list. Do you feel like you're too hard on yourself? I feel some people, you got some, again with the dynamics, some people celebrate wins too much and end up losing track of the work and the journey and the progress. And some people, they're too caught up in the journey and the progress and they end up being too hard on themselves, and it's not healthy. it's kind of counterproductive at times. Where you feel you fall on that spectrum?
Oh, I'm the latter for sure. I definitely get way too caught up in a journey that I forget to celebrate. I forget to smell the flowers. Again, have amazing friends around you that don't work in film or that don't do anything that you do. Sometimes you got to have people around you that are not in that because that realm, so they can bring you back to reality.
As an escape, yeah.
And it's just like, hello, who were you before this a month ago? Don't forget that. Like, you're tripping right now. And so I had a lot of those phone calls, those late night phone calls. To be honest with you, I am just as surprised as everyone else at the success that A Night at the Table has been having. I did not expect that at all whatsoever. Going into both of these films, it was just as an actor. Literally, me producing these films was out of my frustration as an actor, not getting roles I wanted, getting either rejected or getting these small, uncomplex roles. And I just felt like, what the hell? I can write way better than this. And it was all about me just having something better for my reel. And then it became much bigger than me. That's how I know I was always supposed to do this. Mm-hmm. But like, like when I was producing, and I keep referencing Night at the Table because that was the one I had so many hats on, and so it was the most taxing because I am the one out of everybody, out of all of these productions, I'm the one that had to see the whole thing through. I wasn't like the producer, and I had a director who could watch the edits sometimes for me, and I can like say to hell with it one day. I had to do it. I had to be that person because I chose to wear that hat. Mm-hmm. So if I wasn't there seeing it through, who was? And it became really, really draining. And there were times where I thought that I failed. I would cry. I mean, I had my amazing shout out to Bacon. He's not from Philly. He's from New York. I don't know if he's going to hear this, but I would literally, him and I were texting. We would text and talk on the phone, and I would be like, I think I failed. I don't think the intro works. I don't think that it ties into the main scene. I don't think that this works. This is before I even had my editor. And I would cry, and he would just be like, look, I didn't even read the damn film, but I know it's amazing based on what I saw, so you need to get your shit together. So I was very hard on myself.
Simple.
Yeah, like, I love having people around me that are hard on me because in that way, and they basically beat me out of the beating that I give myself. Mm-hmm. And so it helps a lot. Again, having people that are so far removed from what you're doing, even if they do work in film, somebody who's not necessarily on the project, because they don't have an emotional attachment. They only see you as you, right? And so they're they're going to help you get you back. So you have to have that community, because otherwise I would have drowned for sure.
Okay. How do you feel about so speaking of like having people to talk to about film? Are you a person that like to generally just casually talk about film a lot of times? Do you have a main circle you talk to, or like once you off the clock, off the work, off the your brains off, you like, nah, I don't give a fuck about this shit, I want to talk about it?
What an amazing question. You know why it's an amazing question? So funny story. Before I even became a filmmaker, again, I was solely focused on my acting. I used to date an actor, and him and I dated for, I would say, like 2 years. And it was getting to a point where we were about to get into a relationship, but I was like, I had to curve it because I was like, this is not what I want from a relationship. But the point is, he frustrated me a lot because he was also he's only an actor. So, me, I got my writing, I got this, I got that. He was only an actor. So when you're just one thing, sometimes it drives you crazy and you get obsessed. And so sometimes, like, our conversations will always segue back to his career and, like, what he's not doing or where he should be, why he's mad at his agent this day. And I would just be like, can we just talk about regular stuff? Can we, like did you read, like, Variety, like, I don't know, like, Complex News today? Like, can we talk about something that has nothing to do with acting? You have to separate. It's not healthy to be so immersed in it all day. It's not healthy because then it really starts feeling like a job, and you never want your passion to feel like a job. So you have to step away and be a real human being sometimes. So,
that's interesting. Yeah, because like I really, like I said, like I'm very, even with this podcast specifically, like I'm very excited and relieved whenever I'm able to have a film conversation, because it doesn't come often. Whenever a lot of people, everybody watches movies, Where everybody sees movies, niggas don't be watching movies. Niggas just be looking at the fuck screen. And, what the fuck happened? Like, niggas be like, a lot of people aren't into film, or at least that I come across or whatever.
Yeah.
And then even more so, a lot of people don't like talking about film. It's not that deep to them. They don't like, really having informative conversations, breaking down whatever. So, but I'm also not constantly, at least currently, immersed in film, so I might not want to talk about it. Would you call yourself a film snob?
Oh, absolutely not. And I will say, to your point of people not being into film, I don't think that is necessarily, I think that we forget as people who are
also, y'all standards trash. Y'all be liking anything.
No, listen, but to their defense, I got y'all. To their defense, I think that we have to remember, as people who are in film or people who are in entertainment, that what we do is a lot of times for entertainment. Mm-hmm. And so it's okay for people to just consume things for pure entertainment basis, whether it's to laugh or to be afraid or to get their mind off of their
I watch Black Ink. Like, that's my guilty pleasure.
Right.
I
so it's okay. It's okay for everything not to be a dissertation.
Everything don't gotta be Inception. I'm definitely with that. We don't need
I try not to judge how people consume things.
I'm one of the people that says Brotherly Love is a good movie, though. Like those people.
I like Brotherly Love. I mean, it's not Oscar worthy, but I thought it was interesting.
Oh, interesting.
I love Keke Palmer's performance. I actually did believe the plot twist. I didn't see it coming. Some people said they did, but I didn't.
You like Quincy?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I did, the Corey Harding, I was distracted like shit. About it. I was like, these are some fine ass men on this stuff.
Comes down to. How do you feel? Another thing I've always thought about. Let's say I dated an actress, right? I can admit this, where I consider myself a very comfortable man, very self-aware, mature man, fragile moment. So if I was dating an actress, I don't think I'd be comfortable with sex scenes. Like, if you're doing a sex scene, a very intense, maybe kissing scene, I don't know how they're gonna deal with it. I'm not sure. How do you feel about that? On your end, also dealing with you and your partner doing it. Thoughts on that? Have you thought about the also that point? I remember Halle Berry. It took a lot for her to do the Monsters Ball thing, or even the swordfish scene.
Well, that's understandable because it was about her exposing her breasts, and that's her body. And I think that she wanted to put a price on her body. She felt like she was worth that much. Then all hell, Halle Berry. But in terms of the whole, here's the thing: when you become an actor, and this is probably something that if you were to ever take acting classes or study acting, that thought process will go out the window, because there's something that happens when you when you start training to be an actor, that this story, the cause, like the art, the craft, everything about it, the integrity of this project or the point you're trying to get across is way bigger than a small moment of you having with someone on film. And a lot of times they have things, a funny story that I read with Taraji and, what's his name? No, not Michael. Taraji on Empire.
Oh, okay, Terrence
Howard. She said that she would, she would say weird stuff in his ear when he was on top of her so that he wouldn't get a hard on. Because, we're still human at the end of the day. Some things naturally happen, whatever. But, she would say, really...
Man, let me know. If I was with Megan Good, prime Megan, waist deep era, no matter what you say. Sorry, really. Continue.
Right. No, but you have to understand, these are professionals.
Course,
these are people who... I will say this. Again, if you are trained, especially if you went to a place like Juilliard or you went to these, highly acclaimed master schools... They prep you for this. They prime you for this. So a lot of these people are in relationships and they've been through that. When I went to acting school, I had to. Half of us were butt ass naked. We're like family at this point, because it's I've seen you at your best and worst all through your acting. I've seen you. I've walked out of class once. I've had my titties out. So American culture in general is just, we just look at things differently. Because if you go to Europe, the body and sexual, it's all relative. I think that we just overthink it sometimes. But again, like you said, if you were dating someone, I think it's just one of those things that if you were the artist, you would separate. You would know how to separate because you would be taught how to separate.
Gotcha. And then you got those stories when people fall in love on set. Yeah. All the training and separation going out the window.
Brad Pitt.
What's the name?
The Michael C. Hall who plays Dexter, and the girl from season 4 of Dexter.
What?
Did you watch Dexter?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so you know the manly looking girl that this was the worst season. It was season 4,
Season 4.
and it was a season where he was trying to save this girl. She was like white blonde, very bland face. But anyway, he actually ended up cheating with her on
Wow.
the. You know, he used to date Deb, his sister that was on the show.
Disgusting.
Yeah, so I agree. It does
I hated
happen.
that.
I will say this: it happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens, but
I gotta
sometimes.
go back and watch this.
Sometimes you experience. I'm gonna find her now.
Yeah, please,
but
yeah.
sometimes you experience.
What time?
Oh, 7:09.
Gotcha.
And sometimes you experience like natural chemistry that you're like, whoa, you know? Because like with my rom-com, that was my first romantic experience on camera, and the chemistry was very natural.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that it was. I don't think that I think us both walking away from that project, I would have been open-minded if something came from it, but I don't think it was the same. I don't think it was what's the word I'm looking for? Mutual. Yeah, I don't think it was mutual because he had a situation, right? So it was he wasn't in a relationship, but he had like an ex-girlfriend that was like blowing him up on set. So like, and also I don't know if he dates black girls.
No shit.
But anyway, I think
Come on,
he
Michael
gave me too much to
B.
drink.
Come on, Tay D.
He gave me too much to drink. I'm spilling the tea.
Come on, Tay D. How about this? Are you a fan of Tarantino?
Oh, Quentin Tarantino? I haven't studied his work that much, but I mean, I respect him. He's known as a person who is an originator of his particular art form, auteur. So I respect him as an artist, but I don't really have a. The only thing I remember from him is like Kill Bill.
You ever seen the latest one with Leo and Brad Pitt?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Oh,
What
okay.
are you talking about?
Well, just, if everyone ever comes across your radar, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And
Leonardo and who else?
Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie.
I'm
Once
pretty
Upon a Time in
sure.
Hollywood.
Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I haven't seen it.
Okay, moving on. Bad topic, you typically when you're writing.
Here she is.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
guys.
you gotta keep going.
Julia Stiles from season.
Oh,
4.
Julia Stiles. Stay the Last Dance. Yeah. She was in there? What the fuck?
Yeah, she was so boring. This is literally her. Let me search Julia.
What did she do in there?
She was like a damsel in distress, and he was trying to save her. You don't remember? Let me see.
He tried to kill her or something, and then he stopped?
No, he was trying to save her. Like, remember this? You don't remember this scene?
I'm drawing a blank. I'm finding it later. That's gonna
Oh, you gotta watch it again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Dexter in your top 10? What's some of your favorite shows ever?
I love Dexter.
It
Oh,
was a good
Dexter is
show.
definitely top 10.
Ending was terrible, though.
Who?
I said the ending was
Oh,
terrible.
the ending was horrible. It was very. I don't know what the hell they were doing. It was like Game of Thrones was horrible in the ending.
Also, Deb, one of the worst characters of all time.
Deb, really?
She's trash. I did the wife.
But yeah, so they used to date. They used to date in real life.
That's horrible.
And he cheated with Julia Stiles.
When the wife died, though, that hurt me. That was one of the, I didn't see that coming.
Spoiling for people.
Yeah, the shit been on for almost 10 years.
I know, that's
spoilers
true.
don't count.
They ain't gonna get Rita. Yeah, when Rita died, that was a caught off guard. I didn't expect her to die.
I was hurt.
She was annoying though.
But she was so. But she was so just pure and just.
She was so pure. She was so pure.
She didn't deserve this.
She didn't deserve that at all.
But what's some of your top shows ever though? I got like a whole list.
TV
no
shows?
order, of course. Yes, ma'am.
Oh goodness! See, I'm the kind of person you gotta give me like the genres because I'm so like all over the place sometimes. But Game of Thrones for sure, even though the ending was trash.
Of course.
Dexter for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy! Oh my goodness! There's so many good shows.
Want me to name mine? Maybe name some.
Yeah.
All right, boom. In order, because I constantly think about lists all day, every day.
Oh, good for you.
Number 1, Game of Thrones. Still, even though with that whole
yeah, but
last
it doesn't take away from the amazing like
Of course.
7-8 seasons.
So boom, number 1. Number 2, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad starts off so slow. I cannot get past season 1.
Push through,
Slowest
queen.
start. Everybody keeps saying, just keep going.
Yeah, just keep going. You know,
Insane.
perseverance.
No.
Number 3, Sopranos.
Fair.
4, The Wire.
The Sopranos before The Wire?
Because season 2 is trash, and season 5 also could have been better. Sopranos straight through.
Straight through?
Straight
Okay,
through.
fair.
After that, I believe I got Sons of Anarchy.
Okay, I've never seen that.
Then after that, you know, get a little shaky. You know, we got House. House, one of my favorite shows. Relax. Don't watch the shit. I saw the face. Relax. I'm down on the hill. Dexter definitely in the top 10 somewhere.
Yeah.
Also, hot take. I'm dying on the hill. The Orange Is Black is a great show. I love this last season. One of the best finale seasons I've ever seen. Like, they really tied up.
Don't. I'm
not saying nothing.
Seen it.
But great finale.
I've
So
seen the first couple seasons.
that really jumped up the ranks for me with that, especially how they ended it. Yeah, so those are like the big ones. Oz is top 10.
Yeah.
Shout out to SVU.
Oh, you know who? You know another good show. The one on is it Showtime or Star? It's Showtime. The one she's bipolar. Crap.
Bipolar at Showtime.
Yeah, it's the cop show, and he like turns on them. He goes and there's like it's in Afghanistan, like they Showtime.
Sounds intense.
No, you know. Well, maybe you haven't watched it, but I'm about to tell you you need to watch this show.
Okay. When you're writing, while you're looking that up, when you're writing typically
Homeland.
It's on my list.
It's amazing.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Is it still on?
I don't know if it's still on. I mean, there was one season I got lost and I just stopped watching, but like the first 4, oh my god.
It's on the list. Okay,
Phenomenal.
Typically when you're writing, what inspires you? Like, where do these ideas come from? I have a story. One of the concepts that I had, whatever. I went on vacation in Bermuda. When I was out there, I was just like, oh yeah, this would be a dope ass movie, and ideas came in, whatever. So typically, all ideas you ever came across or thought of, actually explored and written completely, where did it come from? Is it just like personal experience, random ideas?
I mean, it's a combination of everything. My ideas come from life itself. I live a lot, and you know, it can come from anything from what I'm reading that day. To what I experienced that day, what I felt that day. So, you know, to be more specific, give you guys a concrete example. A Night at the Table was inspired by a combination of something that, both real life events, something that I saw on the news, and also my own grandmother. I put those together and created a fictional tale. And then Appetizer was inspired by me actually watching. I'm a sucker for rom-coms because I think my love life sucks and I live vicariously through them. So
give me something for your rom-coms.
Oh God, anything with Jennifer Lopez, believe it or not. I know I'm corny, but I love her and her rom-coms. They're so good. Did you see like Made in Manhattan and The Wedding Planner?
You ever seen with George Clooney? Shit was good. Out of Sight. You ever seen that?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like that was a low key one. It's not really a rom-com, but like her and George got the little chemistry out of it. But it's like actually like a crime movie.
Like a badass film.
Yeah, but it's actually good.
Yeah. No, but her, I think that's her genre. Like, and so, plus Selena. Selena's in his own lane.
Selena.
Selena's in his own lane. But yeah, her, and then what's her name with the one that was on La La Land?
Oh, we got Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling and they play on everything together. I don't know what. Emma Stone, right? Or
Emma Stone?
Yeah, I think so.
Google it.
Well, we're good. Yo, the internet is like real handy for us.
I didn't actually see La La Land. I wasn't interested.
Yes, Emma Stone. I was right.
It was Emma Stone. Okay, cool.
Yeah, her and Ryan Gosling rom-coms I love. I cried on La La Land. Even though there's a lot of controversy that year, I was on a plane watching it crying. But I'm also a sucker for love. I literally live in a fantasy world.
You like Crazy Stupid Love? That's like one of my little.
I like Crazy Stupid Love.
Great movie.
My mom likes that film too.
Some of mine is like, you know, just romance in general. You know, we got Love Jones off the top. I'm still down the hill.
Loving basketball.
Yes, loving. I don't care how many times BT played it, people.
All the lines.
Yeah, it's classic. Like, it's great. What we got in there? Friends with Benefits. I really like that movie. That was a good movie that came out to me.
I don't know if I saw that. Is it the one with Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, it was low-key like a good movie. Him and I really like Mila Kunis. I like her.
Oh, Mila Kunis. I like Mila Kunis.
What's we got in there?
Ashton Kutcher, fine ass. Sorry.
Michael B-ish right there.
I'm so lusty right now. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, but all right, continue. What was I talking about? Are you inspired? Rom-com?
Oh yeah, and then Appetizer was inspired by
again
me watching me watching Before Sunset, the trilogy.
I've never seen that.
It was the beginning of Ethan Hawke's career. And I just stumbled across it one day, and I was actually going through a real situation where I met someone off a dating app, and he was so fine, and I was just like, I don't care what comes of this situation. Something has to come of it. Something has to happen. And he fucking left before I had any chance.
Wow, King.
He went to LA, and I'm like, and he told me, and it's crazy because we were talking every day, but he failed to tell me that he was
gone.
He was interviewing for a job in LA. I'm like, why didn't you tell me this? Like, we only had one date. I wanted to see you. I was planning to come to Jersey to pull up, you know?
All right, so he'll still be out there waiting for you. I see where it's going.
Oh, please. And now I think he's booed up, but he watches my stories every day.
Okay,
so there's a part of him that's like, what if?
Shout out to the what ifs.
Anyway, next topic.
Room's still fresh.
Spilling all my tea.
What's some of your pet peeves of watching films and making films? Whichever you want to do first.
Oh, I will say they actually go hand in hand because now that I'm a filmmaker, it's so excruciating to watch films sometimes because I actually cannot shut the fuck up.
Snobs.
Even if I can shut up out loud in my head, I'm like, ugh. Or I'm like, this moment was so inauthentic. Like it was, you know what I mean? Or I'm like, why would they do the camera like? It's so difficult to watch film as a filmmaker now.
I can never see it, especially from a directing standpoint.
Oh my god, it's horrible. But especially acting too, because you pick up everything. You're like, why didn't he go with the moment there? Or why did he blink his, like, why is he twitching his mouth? Like,
continuity always stands out to me. Like I always notice like the flaws or inconsistency of things.
See, that's an editing discrepancy.
That shit, I hate that shit.
It does take you out of it.
Recently, I was watching Thin Line Between Love and Hate, whatever. You know, cult classic. I've seen this movie over a dozen times, like my whole life, whatever. And man, I just literally thought about it the other day though, because it's on Netflix now, so a few friends over, and we just turned it on. It's one of those background situations, like background noise and shit. So one of the friends that was there, he said, "Yo, Martin got a blood clot in his eye." I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And I'm like, "What?" Like, and it's like literally mid shot, like in the same scene, cutting in and out. Like then throughout the whole movie, he has a blood clot. I'm like,
are you serious?
Yo, I've seen the movie my whole life.
I've never seen that.
But what I think happened, I'm down this hill now, is that they just uploaded.
Never told you that.
They uploaded the wrong version of Netflix. Cause I don't think this shit was there my whole life. I just never knew it.
You're in denial.
No, it never happened. I refuse to believe that.
But that just goes to show, when you become like you become very conscious of these things.
Mm-hmm. I was sick.
He should have never told. Why he do that?
Yeah, he
being petty. Films are not perfect, and there's always something that's gonna be.
It was really blatant though. I was offended once I saw it. It was like, oh, I was
now
fucking
I'm gonna
red.
watch it again.
Watch on Netflix.
And notice it. I didn't even know it was on Netflix. Okay. Yeah. Strong black lead. I see y'all putting in work.
What are you watching now? Like, what are some of the latest movies you like? Automatically before we do that, what's some of just your general favorite movies? Just right off the top of your head, like what you got?
Well, again, I am not to be cliche, but I am actually a horror thriller nerd, and also I love rom-coms. So I think I've already kind of spelled out some of those things. But my favorite, like horror, like I love Amityville Horror. I love all of the whole Insidious series trilogy. Don't do that, because Insidious was the scariest scary movie.
First two.
Oh, well, the last one was but the first two were, oh my goodness, they were really good to me.
I'm also not in horror. I'm just over the whole horror genre, to be honest.
Bye. Okay, this wraps the conversation here.
Streets is done with the horror genre.
Don't hate on, no, don't do that, because there's still a lot of people out here, because we're going to save horror. But anyway, I'm a nerd. I love slashers. I love Halloween and Friday the 13th. Oh, I'm obsessed with Freddy Krueger. That's why I got the homage in the beginning of my film, the Freddy Krueger homage.
Did you like Freddy vs. Jason?
I mean, it was cheesy, to be honest. I didn't like that they killed off Kelly, the black.
Oh, you already know she had to go.
I
was surprised she made it that long. I don't think her maybe for getting like more than 4 scenes.
I mean, it was for the culture, I feel like.
I only I saw a Reese. I remember at first I was like, it's cool. I watched it this past year. I was like, yo, you know, like kind of good. Like,
it was?
They really catch a wreck on each other.
Yeah, I gotta watch it again.
Freddy was fucking Jason.
I know, because he could go in and out of the dreams.
Yeah, it was catching a wreck.
Dang, I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for Freddy all the way.
Did you see the latest Halloween?
I did.
You know that they're making 2 more for some reason.
No, why would they do that?
They was like, oh, Halloween, the 40th anniversary. Let's make 2 more.
Please, no.
Yeah.
We don't want to.
That's why the Streets is done.
Horrible.
Favorite Denzel movies? Let's go.
Ooh, favorite Denzel movies. Okay, I am horrible with titles, but Training Day,
boom,
for sure. Training Day.
Like a top 3 or 4.
I also love Denzel. What is it? Out of
Time?
Is it Out of Time?
With Idina Menzel?
No, the movie with the little girl.
Man on Fire?
Man, I love Man on Fire. Yeah, Man on Fire, Training Day. Oh, Deja Vu, I really like.
Underrated for some reason.
Oh, John Q.
For sure.
And Inside Man I also like. So those
Gotcha.
are my top. And Malcolm X and everything Denzel.
Alright, but you know everything he did from 1988 to now. Give me your Mount Rushmore of actors.
Ooh.
I had a kind and it could be twofold. Your personal favorite and who you think just the 4 GOATs are.
Wow, he is really trying. Why are you trying to stump me? What time is it? You trying to stump me. So, I would say the GOAT of actors, I will say this is always going to be biased, right? Because I'm sure there are a lot of people that we miss out on.
Of course, fuck them.
But so I'm going to say this. Daniel Day-Lewis, hands down.
Okay.
Daniel Day-Lewis, Meryl Streep.
I like this.
He thought I was gonna say some D-list stuff. You know, that's what happens when you're a trained actor. You know all of the G's, the OGs. Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis, Meryl Streep.
But you gonna see
Denzel Washington have to be up there.
Okay.
He has to be up there because I feel like what he did for Black cinema is just groundbreaking. Mm-hmm. And the last one, because what is it, 4 or 5 people on Mount Rushmore?
Barack Obama.
The last one I will say, and a lot of this is based on like the time, right? Like you had to have put in that time and put in that work. This is hard. Can I give 2? Like,
all right, give me 2 more.
All right. I would say it's between Viola Davis and what's his name? Lauren. No, the one with the lazy eye.
Forrest
Whitaker. You know why? Because I saw him on what's that movie with the stone? You know what I'm talking about. The Last King of Scotland. Oh my!
When he got the Oscar, yeah.
Oh my God, I was blown away. I was like.
And he's interesting because after he got the Oscar, he just said, "I'm out. I'm fucking."
He's
been producing shit after that. He's like, I did my shit. I paid my.
For real? I mean, that's like the acting.
Yeah, because like he paid a lot of dudes with like cameos and B rolls and C rolls.
Yeah, he did. He put the work in.
And then the Oscar nigga. I'm out. Fuck y'all niggas, because you know he produced.
And honorable mention to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay, boom. It's funny you say that. So I had a conversation recently with film snobs, whatever. And we who's the Mount Rushmore, whatever. So everybody said Denzel off top, whatever. And then we said De Niro. And then people was like, I guess we gotta put Al up there. Al's one of them goats, whatever.
See, now they're being biased.
Relax.
It's like all crime film actors.
Sin of a Woman? Like, what?
I haven't even seen that.
Hey, great movie. Then we was all kind of split between the 4th. I was like, even though he's not one of my favorites, I just gotta respect him for what he is. Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks did back-to-back Oscars.
Oh, yeah. And what's the movie the Oscar-winning movie with him and Denzel?
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And so, he did Castaway, and we already know what the fuck he did.
Yeah, Tom Hanks has one of those, like, legendary-ass casts.
Right, like, it's hard to
argue. You have to respect him,
right. But then we was like, wait, what about Leo, though? I was like...
Leo's, like, one of the most underrated great actors. Not just because he took so long to win an Oscar, but... No, if you watch him, he's phenomenal.
Of course.
Oh my
And
God.
then it's funny. Like a year or 2 ago, I was just bored with this. I'm always thinking about relationships for something. I'm obsessive, and I was looking at Leo's resume versus Denzel's resume at their age, and I was like,
Leonardo was working.
I was probably talking to someone. I was like, Leo, not fucking with Denzel, whatever.
No.
And then I compared that, and let's say Leo's 40, whatever, and Denzel is 40. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
But
Leonardo was.
It might get dark in like another 10 years for Denzel's career.
Yeah, Leonardo was working. Like that's one humble actor. I mean, sorry, that's one humble. Like you could tell he's fully committed to the craft. Mm-hmm. He doesn't care about the accolades. He's in it for everything that comes with the craft.
Mm-hmm. Man, he got a nice versatility in his leading roles. Like, a lot of fucking Catch Me If You Can, Titanic. Inception,
and what's the movie called? The Grape.
Great Gatsby.
No, not The Great Gatsby. It's Grape something.
What's Killing Gilbert Grape?
Yeah, and what was the guy who was in
Johnny
it?
Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Also, speaking of Johnny Depp, so another conversation I had before, because Denzel, that's my goat. That's my hove of acting, whatever. And he was like, nah, Denzel, all that, whatever. He's not fucking with Brad Pitt, Johnny Depp. And before, I almost swung on this nigga
Brad
at first,
Pitt's not
whatever.
memorable to me. I know people going,
Ooh, no shade. But
he's not that memorable to me.
to the person's
I know
point,
he's a great actor, though.
to the person's point, he said, and I've heard this lazy ass take of criticism of Denzel before. Where they say he always plays the same character, which I refute. It's not true, whatever. But
to an extent.
But when you compare someone like Johnny Depp or Brad Pitt, when you got, say for Brad Pitt, for instance, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Troy.
I feel like Brad Pitt plays, and that's probably why he's not that memorable to me.
You say he plays what?
He plays a lot of similar characters, in my opinion.
Okay, well, let's think about it for a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Inglourious Bastards, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Troy. What was he got? Hold on, no, don't fool, kill. 7. All right, hey, Brad Pitt, whatever. Johnny Depp. So when he pulled the Johnny Depp card, and as you know, Johnny Depp is the most versatile nigga ever to a fault at times.
Yeah.
Cause he doing right. Well, if it's different, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So, but
once he did Pirates of the Caribbean, though, it's like hard to even remember half of his roles because he was that was his role.
yeah, he did like too many. He started drawing.
Yeah, I agree.
But so I thought that was an interesting person. I feel like for some reason, he got a lot of Cause one thing Denzel said one time, whatever, he said, "You're only good as the roles you take, whatever." And I feel Denzel's selection is an underrated trait of his resume, whatever. Because where at one point Will Smith was on a trajectory of being like a Denzel class tier of actor,
yeah.
But you took too many L's consecutively.
Yeah.
So I was like, nigga, fuck out the way, you be listening. And so was Johnny Depp.
Will Smith be experimenting.
Yeah, and Johnny Depp, he got a bunch of great roles
and
different roles, but
that's
you got too many L's.
But I want to, before you continue, I will say that's a good point that you brought up, that if any our actors are listening, that you have to keep in mind that acting is just not the acting business. You have to not forget the business part, and you have to be very strategic with the rules and the scripts that you are reading, because they can make or break your career as well. I don't care how good you are. If you're constantly picking bad scripts, then it's going to affect you.
The power of no. The strength of saying, I'm good.
Don't just take anything,
Because even Leo, that's why that's what made me kind of like, cause I'm not like the biggest fan of Tarantino or whatever, but I was talking to some fellow snobs, and they were into Tarantino, they were talking about it. Then my girl, she loves Leo. She's like, we should see it. I was like, I don't want to see this shit. I'm not into it. So they all wrote me into seeing it. And also one of the main catalysts of it, I was like, yo, Leo don't take L's though. Leo don't pick bad scripts.
Don't take out. No, you could tell he probably reading all that stuff like.
However, this shit was an L. This shit was
L?
The Tarantino was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and of course, it's success. I don't give a fuck nobody say. I'm totally fine with being the minority opinion, but that shit was trash. One of the worst movies I've ever seen, whatever. And I was like,
you said this so casually, one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
And I was like, damn, Leo finally took an L in like a decade. Like, I haven't seen him in a bad movie in like I don't know how long. Wolf of Wall Street was my favorite movies as well.
I like Wolf of Wall Street a lot.
But yeah.
Leonardo, he's so charismatic. He's amazing.
That's cool.
You know who I love too is the director Wes Anderson.
What's some of his work?
He's so
I know the name, but
his most recent one was what's the hotel film? It's
Hotel Artemis.
When I start drinking, I forget everything.
Okay, what's this?
Guys, blame Q.
What's that night at the table?
The Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh, okay. I didn't
but
see
one
that
of his most,
I didn't see that one. Okay.
Oh my God! It's aesthetically, it's amazing. And you know what's crazy? If you go into the behind the scenes, I didn't even know like the budget was so small that they got so experimental. Like they even created the trains that they were on. You would never know watching a film.
Okay, I had on my list.
Oh my God! I mean, it won a few.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it
for production design. No, they consider him also an originator of his craft. And I'm like, I don't know if you recognize any of that stuff, but he's very quirky. He's very unique in his. I like him a lot.
But just overall, Miss, did you enjoy yourself today?
Yeah, this was interesting. I don't always like talking about film and stuff all day, but at the end of the day, it is my job to, let people know my journey and also what I've learned thus far and pass that information on. But I love the whole back and forth. I love the fact that you are very informed and you know, this world, and it's fun to hear someone who is like, oh no, this is what I think.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. Like I said, it was a little long getting this one locked in, whatever. I'm glad we finally able to get it done for you to get here, whatever. Even though, you know, it was kind of interrupting your schedule. Appreciate that even more of you getting here. So I'm happy we had a conversation. I'm happy you had a good time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, you know, if you're listening, subscribe, share, you know, check out the past episodes, whatever. You know, if you into Parasite conversation, keep it on here a bunch of times, unfortunately. When I can't get whatever. And check if you also go listen to the Spoiled Watermelons episode, whatever. You know, it's a very good film conversation, whatever. And you know, again, you know, the whole short film circuit. Good change you might never see the Appetizer or Night at the Table.
Night at the Table.
Night at the Table. But if you are, maybe she has another screen and definitely go check it out, whatever. Great story, great films, whatever. And you know, and be on the lookout for all.
I'm gonna get distribution, so if worst case scenario it'll be on Amazon Prime. I got you guys.
Cool. All right, good to hear. RightonQuelive, talk about it. We are out. Thank you, miss.
Thank you. Wait, can we get a picture of us on a mic? Where's that go?
Yeah, it'll be down soon.
Did you get what you wanted to get out of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great episode.
Nice.
Got through everything.
I'm happy.
Nice and on.
I'm hard to get sometimes. Yeah. Nah, this is fun.